How's it going, everybody? I have a new video today. Today we're going to be looking at doing shine. So I had a question come in from Matt McDuffa. He's a good friend of the channel. He's probably been a fan before before the channel really started to grow. So that's always great. So he wanted me to show him how to do shine on a picture or on metal. So I grabbed his drawing here. This is one that Matt did on Procreate. As you can see here, it looks like he already tried to do the shine. I am going to just draw a quick line down the center just to kind of keep the area separate here. Big red line right down the center. Well, that's not really the center. Oh. Look at me already screwing up. All right, there we go. So this side's gonna be where I'm gonna do the shine. There's multiple ways you can do shine. The easiest way is just to grab the airbrush tool and let's see here. Airbrush, soft airbrush. Okay, so you grab the white and just lightly just go over it, and you can change the size of it, and it creates a shininess to it. And then you can change the opacity quite a bit, and then you can go another layer, change the size of the brush a little smaller, and go the opposite direction. So that's another way to do shine on metal. It's very subtle, but here is another trick. So we're going to delete those, add another layer. I like to use the thin render brush from Jing Sketch, and I'm just going to up the sides of the brush, and wherever you think the light's going to hit it, just create these grooves, and then you're going to grab a lighter red, go around here. It's not going to look like much yet. Alright, so now you will duplicate the layer. This bottom layer, you're going to grab the Gaussian blur. It's right here where you see the magic wand. And you just increase it to your liking. Then this top layer, you're just going to lower the opacity a little bit. And then you're going to grab another layer with the same brush, but now you're going to up the, almost like the airbrush, but the opposite direction. You're going to grab white, and you're just going to make some streaks going down. Because remember, on shiny surfaces, the light's hitting it from different directions. You can just scratch in that direction. Nothing crazy. And then you can do the Gaussian blur on that as well. Now you can combine the layers, which I tend to do. So now we have the layers combined, and you can do a motion blur. So it's all about layering it up, and then you can grab a little bit of more white here, really add the intensity up. And you're just gonna keep working at it until you feel comfortable enough that now it has that reflectiveness. You know, it's one of those hard things where it's like, does it really look like it's shiny enough? But that's something that you can fix later in Photoshop, because Photoshop has a lot other features. I'm going to show you some other tricks. This is depending if you have a brush tool set. If you do not, that is okay. Procreate comes with a luminance brush. So you can add flare, a light pen. So these things are really great. So I like to use the glimmer, lower the intensity a little bit, and you can just add little specks in there. because remember, metal sometimes is brushed. I know Iron Man is like more almost like a brushed metal aluminum. See, that's too much, so we'll just lower it a little bit. You could just add little spots of it, just to kind of insinuate. You can put it over other metal pieces, and you could even darken areas. See, so what Matt did here with his Iron Man is that is kind of two-tone red, and it looks like it's from the same color. So Matt, if you're watching, next time you go for shading, let's say you started off with this red here, change the hue. So just going down quite a bit, almost to that barrier where it's almost purple, or you can go higher. But if you go this way and now you switch to the darker red, you'll see the difference here. I know you don't have this brush pack, but just for purposes of this video, I'm going to show you what the difference is when you add this kind of red. I gotta go a little bit bigger. And it really pushes that other red up more. So shine is cool. You know, making shine is really cool, but at the same time, something's not going to look really shiny unless you go into that color and change the hue a little bit. And already now these highlights are starting to pop up a little bit more. Another thing is going to a brighter color, so the same concept. So we're going to switch the hue up to a little bit of an orange and go a little lighter. And this is going to help the shine appear more realistic. And already with all these combinations, you're already starting to see more of a shine in the metal. And using all the tools to your advantage, you could even add a texture. So let's see, textures here. Don't think there is a metal one. Alright, so you got corrugated metal or heavy metal. So we'll go to that metal. Not too much where it's going to take away from the drawing. But we're going to go back to that darker red and really get into those areas down here. And you could always smooth this out, so it doesn't have to, you know, be something you're stuck with. Same thing with the helmet. So we're just going to grab that color by, you hold your finger down, now you grab the color. So you see how it's on that kind of border between orange and yellow. So for the lighter colors, you go to the yellow and bring up the luminance a little bit. And we're going to go to that same paintbrush, that edge control one, and just really hit those areas. And it already looks like it's shiny now, just by changing the color, just a little bit. And see this corner here, so the light's going to come from this direction. You can change this corner here because the top of the helmet's going to stop the color. So now we can go back to the orange, just go a little darker, and really get into that area. And if it's just not to your liking, you can always drop the color even more, make a more saturated look, and even at the bottom end here. And when you blend, you can create that brushed metal look. You can blend it out to the point where it's like, oh my god, it looks like brushed metal. It's amazing. Those little tricks right there will give it the shine. But let's do the same thing that we did with the armor here. We're going to grab that, not the airbrush, but we're going to grab that paintbrush again. Grab that same color. Just go a little bit to the left here in the hue. Bring up the luminance. And we're just going to draw like little squigglies. Squiggly. And really accentuate the areas where the light is hitting. So, and obviously you're going to be playing around with this. It's not going to be something where you're going to get it right off the bat. But it's always nice to know that you have those little tricks in your arsenal. So there we go, just enough. And then you duplicate it. And then here on the duplicated layer, you can actually mess with the different features. So a lot of people don't know this, but there's some features here where you can change the attributes of that layer. But just for the sake of the video, we're going to keep it to the normal. Same thing with the skin. If the person inside the helmet, we darken these areas, so matte skin tone, we'll keep it there. But let's say we want to get those darker areas, so we're just gonna drop the hue down and then bring down the darkness, and we're gonna do it right on the picture. So I'm gonna alpha lock, keeps it from going off the image. Actually, let me use the other brush. I like the edge control brush a lot more for getting these areas. But look at that. Just by adding a little bit more darkness into the skin tone, we've now created more intensity on the helmet and the armor. Because remember, you're stuck inside that helmet, so. And we're playing around with the background. So with Iron Man, since he has red and yellow, a good color between red and yellow to make a triad would be a light blue. So you see how yellow's here, red's here, blue's here. So adding that to the background, it really makes the color pop. Look at that. So now that shine that you create, when you create a shine on it, now that red's just gonna pop out of the page. And you can even mess with that background a little bit more. So you can actually, and a little bit more. Whoa. And it just turned the image now where you have these shines. And remember, you still have the option to add shine with highlights. And highlights, as you guys know, I love highlights. Oops. Highlights really make a picture pop. So when you do highlights, I would just stick to the corners, because remember, the light source is coming from above. And you just really get those areas. You can even kind of get a little bit of the inside there, but not too much. And really get those corners over here. And even the side of the helmet. Even your glasses. So you can actually give it some reflection. Unless you're Tony Stark and you have the Tony Stark glasses, which I don't even know where to start with those. Those are pretty badass. But there you go. Now you're just adding another layer, and it's important to just play around with the layers. I've been doing a lot of actual digital painting, so I haven't been using layers as much, but I still use layers to make areas pop more. But there you go. I hope this helped with creating a shiny armor. Just play around with the Gaussian blur. Even motion and perspective blur really help. Sharpening, noise, all those things will add weight to your luminance. And playing around with these brushes. So if you look here at luminance, there's still light streak. Light streak's another one that you can use. And then you can lower the opacity on that. You can make the brush a little bit smaller. So all these little things can add shine to armor. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Thank you, Matt, for the question. If anybody else has any other questions in the future, let me know. I will be glad to help out. I'm still learning this program just like you guys are. So everything that I know, I'm taking from other programs that I've used in the past. So I'm glad to help out. Any questions about Procreate, just let me know and I will find out for you. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to keep it over 9,000. Take care.